Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. This is Talk to the Author with me, Dr. Jewel D.Williams. So, for those who may not know me, let me introduce myself. I'm going to tell you who I am. I am a wife, mother, I'm a pastor. I have many spiritual gifts, but more importantly, I'm a child of God. I'm also an author, a publisher. I self-publish my own work. And I also am a coach. I help to coach those who are writing their books. And so why do I want to talk to you today? I want to not only introduce you to who I am, but I want to tell you a little bit about what my latest book, Broken China Makes a Beautiful Mosaic. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this and why I wrote this book. This book has been in the makings for a long time. It's been a good 10 years ago, I believe, that I first sat down and wrote this book. I wrote it in the process of healing, in the process of going through some things. And when I wrote it because at the time I was going through some issues in my marriage, and I was like, Lord, I don't see anything that answers what I'm feeling. I was going through all of these different range of emotions, and I wanted something that talked to what I was feeling. And so the Lord said, well, then you write it. And so I began to write what I was feeling in the moment that I was feeling it. I didn't publish it at the time because I had to further go through some healing and finding the right time, and the right time was now. And so I wrote this book not only for me as a healing process for myself, but I saw and believed that it was something needed for not only married women, but women in general. Just an understanding of how to walk through some of the emotions that comes up when we're disappointed, when we feel broken, when we feel discouraged. And so what I would love for you and hope that you would receive from reading this book is a way to understand your emotions, how to turn those things that the enemy would use against you into something positive. How do you rebuild when your china's been broken? And let me just give you a little bit of background about what this book is about. The title, Broken China Makes a Beautiful Mosaic, because I walk with you through the story of the character Hope. Hope is like many of us. Before she gets married, she has this great joy of getting married, but she's got sometimes, we can have the wrong idea about what marriage is about. So she had these great fantasies in her head about what marriage was going to be like. And so into this marriage she went, and immediately she began to see that maybe some of the things that she thought marriage was going to be about, or the way she picked her spouse, was maybe not the right way to go. And so we walk through each chapter, we walk through with Hope as she tries to uncover some of the things in her marriage. So I just want to give you a little bit of what each of just kind of tell you what we're going through. So the first chapter is, have you picked your china pattern? And each of the chapters walks through with Hope. So chapter 2 is preparing to use your china. Chapter 3 is, my china is broken. What happens when you break your china? Chapter 4, I'm getting new china, when you determine to fix those old things. Chapter 5, I'll hold on my china until. Sometimes we don't want to let go of what's been broken. We want to fix it our way. Chapter 6, I'm upset about my broken china. When we finally get to that place where anger kind of takes over. Chapter 7, I won't find another pattern like this one, and we can get really stubborn. Chapter 8, who needs china anyway? Sometimes you say, forget it. Chapter 9, can broken china amount to anything? Chapter 10, can you open your hands and release the plate? Chapter 11, what do you want with broken pieces? Or what can you do with broken pieces? Chapter 12, create a beautiful mosaic. Chapter 13, what can you do with the mosaic? Chapter 14, use your mosaic to inspire others. And chapter 15, broken china makes a beautiful mosaic. And so each of the chapters, as I said, walks with hope through her life. But in each chapter, I give you a biblical character, a woman in the Bible, and how she deals with certain emotions, how she deals with those things. And so again, I have a prayer also at the end of each chapter. There's a prayer for the married woman, but then there's also prayer for the single woman. Because again, I believe this book is not just for you if you're married, but how about if it's any woman you've ever gone through a time where you felt broken? God can take your broken pieces and make something beautiful. So I'm going to read this little excerpt from the book, and then I want to give you some information where you can purchase the book. This is in the first chapter. I'm sorry, this is in chapter 2, preparing to use your china. And this is a part I just want to read. It's if we are honest with ourselves, how many of us can say that no matter how many times we get into arguments with our husbands, somehow that same one issue keeps coming back? We would say things like, you always or you never. It is because that one hurt is hidden in our hearts. We pull it up from time to time and replay it in our minds. And when he does something, we pull that thing up to show it off like it is a prized trophy. We are saying to them, the vastness of what you do right now, the vastness of what you do right does not add up in comparison to the one thing you did wrong. Let me read that again. We are saying to them, the vastness of what you do right does not add up in comparison to the one thing you did wrong. We have, in fact, believed the lie that the serpent told Eve that day. And so I just really encourage you to get the book and allow it to be a blessing to you. And where you can get it at is at my website, publishthevision.com. And on that site, you will see not only my book, but you also will see information. If you're interested in publishing, if you're interested in coaching, you will see it there. Also, I do a mentoring session from one of my books, The I Saw the Chicken is Out of the Coop. That is also on that site, and I have just 2 slots left. If you have any questions, if you can reach me at Dr. Jewel Williams at publishthevision.com. And so again, I just wanted to give you a brief telling you of what the book is about. And I pray that you would get your copy today. Again, it's Broken China Makes a Beautiful Mosaic. God can take some broken things. He can make something beautiful out of it. And so the question is, when are we going to let it? So I've been getting some good feedback from those that have read the book. They're saying, you know, I've had one person say, wow, I wish this was something that I had access to when I was in my marriage. Someone else said that, you know, it challenged them to maybe go back and look at some things and some emotions differently than they had been in the past. So if you've read the book, if you've got the book or read the book, I would love to hear your thoughts. So you can email me that at Dr. Jewel Williams at publishthevision.com. I would love to hear your thoughts about the book. So until we can talk again, I just pray a blessing upon you. And again, remember, broken china does make beautiful mosaic. Bye-bye.